Hi everybody. In this video I want to show you a little bit about the monk starting area, the Pandarin starter area that is, and how the monk operates. As the two are very closely connected obviously, the new race and the new class are basically one and the same, even though you can play as a monk with other classes, with other races. I'm about level 3 with this particular character, and as you can see, it's your typical WoW starting area. It's fairly small, it's fairly peaceful. Most of the mobs are attackable but inert. They're not going to attack you, at least not quite yet. I'm about to leave the first little nest, that initial starting area where all the mobs are safe. I get into some of the higher level quests. And as with what they've done in the last couple expansions, Blizzard is definitely trying to make it a little more interesting to start a character, not have that that 3-hour grind that's just boring. There's a lot of story involved. As you can see, the zone is very colorful. You're meeting some interesting characters. At the same time, it's not exactly high theater. I mean, there's a lot of tropes in here from kung fu movies. If you love that stuff, it's great. If you don't, it can get a little tiresome. The combat mechanics, as you might guess, for a new character are very simple. 1-1-1-1-2, 1-1-1-1-2. There's not a whole lot else to do. You're not going to die, probably. There has been some balancing issues here in the beta. Some of the early quests were a little tougher than they needed to be, but generally speaking, you know that they're going to work that out before we get anywhere significant. And let me just show you a little bit about how this particular character fights. As you can see, he's melee. When you go into combat, he just starts hitting his fist. He does have a weapon. A lot of the attacks are not dependent on a weapon, however. In fact, some of the higher level weapons are probably going to be fist weapons. And at this level, I just have the 2 attacks. We have Jab, which is just a very basic, easy attack that generates chi. And as you can see, it's kind of a cross between... it's a lot like a rogue, I guess. You use energy. All of your attacks use energy. It goes down as you use your attacks, but then you also build chi as you perform attacks. So in this particular case, Jab uses 40 energy, and you have 100, so that you can use 2 on a full tilt here, but it generates 2 chi, and these are chi right here, so that gives you 4 chi, and then you can use Tiger Palm, which uses 1 chi. So, like, your early rotation then would be Jab, Jab, Tiger Palm, Jab, Jab, Tiger Palm. Later, as you get more abilities, obviously you'll build a rotation with it. You're going to use abilities like Jab, although Jab will be around for a while. But you'll use abilities like Jab and Jab to build up your chi in 2 or 3 attacks. And then you'll unleash that chi in the more powerful attacks once you built it up. So it's a lot like the rogue like that. You build up your combos and you unleash the combos. Some attacks use more chi and they do more damage, obviously. And then there's some area of effect attacks that are going to use a lot more damage that way as well. The monk does have 3 builds. They're not available to see right here. We'll log out in a second and I'll show you exactly what I mean. But there are once you've reached a certain point and you start getting all your talent abilities, there's a tank build, a healing build, and DPS build. So that's important because it'll affect how you use your chi, because at some points you'll be using it to deal damage, and at other points you'll just be trying to keep yourself alive. Or other people alive, as the case may be. Okay, so we build up the chi, and then we unleash the chi. Alright. And as you can see too, the chi using attack is instant. There's no cooldown for it. You're just going to unleash it as much as you want. So you could use it 4 times in a row if you wanted to. And in this particular case, there's no reason not to. If you're in a larger area, if you're up against multiple mobs, you're in a group of mobs, you might want to be a little more sparing in how you use it. So there I just used three Tiger Palms and took them out. It takes very little time to build up that jab again. There's really not too much to show you in terms of not a whole lot different in this starting area. When you reach the end of the starting area, that's one thing that is very different. You should keep in mind is that this is the one character in the game, the one race that is not predisposed to one faction or the other. You are going to choose at the end who you want to support. Only after you finish all of this content too. So it's not directly related to any part of the story. You just get to decide at some point. So 2 or 3 hours of gameplay time once I finish clearing out this particular zone. I'll talk to an elder, and then he'll ask me, do you want to join? He'll ask where you want to go. I'll go there, I'll talk to the leader of that faction, familiar activity that we're all aware of, and then I'll be Horde or Alliance, and that's level 10. And then from there you'd go on and you just use the normal leveling zones, the revamped Cataclysm zones. But yeah, the quests are pretty similar. Gather 5 logs, kill 8 of these. And it's a little disappointing for those of us who are just really waiting for Blizzard to do something unique, especially with a lot of the MMOs coming out these days that are more unique. That's not to say there are not some fun quests in here. Of course there are. I think this is actually a blast, some of the stuff you're doing. I like the idea of a melee class, focuses on fist weapons. I like that he can heal. I love that he's a tank. There are some issues, of course, and they'll come up as the game develops. But for the most part, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of changes in the starting area, except maybe some basic tweaking on the tuning. It's very well polished right now. It's pretty much ready to go. We knew that when they first showed it at BlizzCon last year. So, and then your typical gather quest here. Picking up logs, or roots, I guess. Very exciting. Pick up some more logs. And so I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, it's very straightforward. The zone's very straightforward. You're going to get through very quickly, then you're going to move on, and you're going to do all the zones you're very used to. The really interesting new stuff, the stuff that really is going to drive you through this expansion, is when you reach level 85 and you go to the new zones back here in Pandaria. And then also the talent specializations. I think a lot of people talk negatively about that at first, and I think it's actually a fantastic change. It's going to make, while it does seem to simplify a lot, it's going to give a lot more strategy in terms of being able to tweak your talents before every boss you fight, which is an incredible ability, especially when it comes to having multiple talent specs. So it makes every character more. It really just it makes it so it depends on your skill as a player and your ability to recognize what you need to do as a player. This early in the game, that stuff isn't really a factor as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to continue gathering logs and wind and killing monkeys. And hopefully you have access to the beta so you can enjoy all this monkey bashing action as well. And hopefully I'll see you on the live servers. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon.